Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a Thursday thriller in Indian politics. There were tears, trauma, blame game, and even besharmi. Kejriwal skipped summons by the Enforcement Directorate while Mahua Moitra stormed out of an ethics panel hearing. But why evade, why abuse, and why attack? Shouldn't they just instead have cooperated and answered the straight questions? After all, they were both elected representatives of the people of India. But let's first tell you what happened through the day. Mahua Moitra, Member of Parliament of the Trinamool Congress, was summoned by the Parliamentary Ethics Committee over charges of cash for query. What should have been a dignified hearing with serious questions on national security turned into a free-for-all. Mahua Moitra and 5 opposition members of parliament stormed out and alleged that she was asked filthy questions. She repeated this charge in her letter to Lok Sabha speakers just sent a few moments ago. This letter to Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. But what happened inside the ethics panel hearing? Times Now is the only channel which gets you a blow-by-blow account. Watch this.
You're making up any rubbish. Tears in your eyes. You see my eyes and the tears in it. Then what are you talking for?
So what led to that outburst of Mahua Moitra? Well, top sources told us what happened inside the ethics panel committee. When the cross-questioning of Mahua started in the second half, Danish Ali and Girdhari Yadav intervened to save Mahua Moitra. Later, the chairperson started asking questions regarding Darshan Hiranandani's affidavit. This is when Mahua started speaking rudely to the chairperson, saying that these questions are toxic in nature. They are of very poor quality. These are not the question you are supposed to ask. She was aggressive, arrogant, and rude. Girdhari and Danish then started banging on tables. Then there was voting in which opposition members lost the vote, 6-5. Later, they decided to stage a walkout. Mahua, while leaving, her parting words to the chairperson were Behuda and Besharam. Then they stormed out.
After this tempestuous hearing, an agitated Mahua Moitra came out, all guns blazing against the ethics panel. Watch this.
You're making up any rubbish. Tears in your eyes. You see my eyes and the tears in it. Then what are you talking for? Tears in my eyes.
On the sidelines, there was another face-off. BSPs Danish Ali equated Mahua to Probity and called the hearing her Chirharan. The chief of the ethics panel, Vinod Sonkar, however, dismissed this charge as a diversionary tactic. Listen in.
महुआ मोइत्रा के द्वारा उसमें सहयोग करने के बजाय दानिश अली हों, दूसरे जो बाकी सदस्य हैं, गिरधारी यादव, इन सब लोगों ने बहुत ही क्रोध में और बहुत ही अनएथिकल बात करते हुए कमेटी पे आरोप लगाने का प्रयास किया। वो केवल और केवल जो इससे संबंधित प्रश्न हैं, जो उन पे आरोप हैं, उससे संबंधित सवाल से बचने के लिए इस तरह का रणगाड़।
While Mahua Moitra stormed out angry and disgruntled from the ethics panel hearing, there was another high drama in the capital. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal skipped the summons by the ED and demanded that the agency take it back, resigned it. He was scheduled to be quizzed in the Liquorgate probe today, but at the last minute, he cited poll rallies and prior engagements to wriggle out of these summons. He even wrote a letter to the Enforcement Directorate calling the summons illegal and politically motivated. However, the BJP has asked if he doesn't have anything to hide, then why evade? Listen in to this war of words.
अब ये धमकी दे रहे हैं, पिछले कुछ दिनों से मैं देख रहा हूं दिल्ली के अंदर रोज खड़े होकर धमकी दे रहे हैं, केजरीवाल को गिरफ्तार करेंगे, केजरीवाल को गिरफ्तार करेंगे। केजरीवाल के शरीर को तो गिरफ्तार कर लोगे, केजरीवाल की सोच को कैसे गिरफ्तार करोगे? केजरीवाल को तो गिरफ्तार कर लोगे, हजारों लाखों करोड़ों केजरीवालों को कैसे गिरफ्तार करोगे जो पूरे देश में फैल गए?
फर्स्ट डे से बोला कि अरविंद केजरीवाल ही मास्टरमाइंड है। अरविंद केजरीवाल बहाना मत ढूंढो। मैंने कल परसों भी कहा कि मुझे लगता है कि इनके अगर सवालों के जवाब सही नहीं दिए तो ये गिरफ्तार हो सकते हैं, और आतिशी कहती हैं ये गिरफ्तार होंगे।
And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings me to my legitimate question on the Newshour tonight. Are politicians above probity? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the Newshour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Gaurav Bhatia, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, Senior Fellow at the IPCS, Tehseen Poonawala, Political Analyst, Tausif Ahmed Khan, Lawyer and Political Analyst, supports the Trinamool Congress, Ashutosh, Senior Journalist, Ravi Srivastav, Political Analyst, supports the Aam Aadmi Party. But my first question goes to Mr. Gaurav Bhatia. Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, the charge on you and your party is that you're going after every parliamentarian, every political leader in the opposition, whether it is Mahua Moitra or Arvind Kejriwal. Please respond to the charges, because it has literally become a free-for-all display for everyone to watch.
So, Navika, let me very categorically state something on your show. When people repose their faith in an honest leader like Narendra Modi ji, they expected that every corrupt leader, no matter how high and mighty that person might feel he or she is, will be acted upon, because nobody is above law. And that is what we are witnessing. I think Supreme Court judgment denying bail to Manish Sisodiya, the former deputy CM who was given a Kattar Imandar certificate by the Kattar Baiman Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, is a tight slap on the face of such corrupt leaders. I would only like to say that whether it is Mahua Moitra, Arvind Kejriwal, Partha Chatterjee, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi in the National Herald case, these people need to understand it is not their birthright to illegally claim the resources of the country and indulge in corrupt deeds. So therefore, I want to ask, if Arvind Kejriwal is fearless, why doesn't he move the Honorable Supreme Court immediately and get all the charges quashed? In fact, Manish Sisodiya tried and his petition was dismissed. Second, Arvind Kejriwal entered Indian politics saying that he will eradicate corruption, and his benchmark was that even if there is a charge of corruption, a leader should first resign from the post that person is holding, and then when he is given a clean chit, should enter politics again. Today, Arvind Kejriwal is ordering the ED that they should recall the summon. I would give him free legal advice. He should rather move the High Court and Supreme Court and get the summon quashed. Now coming to Mahua Moitra. Mahua Moitra, I think, has demeaned the democracy of our country. And I heard Danish Ali say कि द्रौपदी या महिला का चीर हरण हो रहा है। अरे चीर हरण तो लोकतंत्र का महुआ मोइत्रा ने किया है, बिकॉज द लेटर रिटन बाय Darshan Hiranandani, he himself says that this member of parliament, who is a disgrace to Indian democracy, was framing questions to be asked in the parliament, and then I quote, she shared with me her email ID as a member of parliament so that I could send her information and she could raise the questions in the parliament. I went along with a proposal. Why? Why was she sharing the questions to be asked in the parliament? Well, before they were even answered or raised in the parliament, that itself shows that she was benefiting from the transactions. She was accepting expensive gifts and she was compromising the oath that she took under the constitution to preserve the constitution, because these questions are to be asked in public interest, not due to ulterior motive. And today she could not face the tough questions. Thus, she is acting in dramatics and giving no substantial answers. Thank you.
Well, let me ask Tehseen Poonawalla, who's raising his hand. Tehseen Poonawalla, apart from the fact that Gaurav Bhatia spoke about the affidavit of Darshan Hiranandani, let me also read another excerpt. This affidavit says the demands were made and favors that were asked included gifting her expensive luxury items, providing support on renovation of her officially allotted bungalow in Delhi, travel expenses, holidays, etc., apart from providing secretarial and logistical help for her travels within India and to different parts of the world. Please note the words, the demands that were made and favors that were asked. Now, these are important words to dwell upon. These are serious charges. I'll read along with the fact that he had the login details and could ask questions. I want to ask you, you know, the email ID of a member of parliament, it gives you access to bills that might come up in parliament that day, the next day. It might come to you for circulation across members of parliament of different political parties, for their views in case some of those views needed to be taken on. The government does that. It gives you access to a whole lot of information which ordinary citizens do not have. It is only lawmakers who have the privilege of doing that. I want to ask you, Tehseen Poonawalla, instead of restricting questions and answers to this very significant question of parliamentary propriety, do you think this entire issue has become about gaining sympathy, about playing victim? I don't endorse anybody misbehaving with a lady or otherwise with any man. I expect that when there is a serious matter, the matter is dealt with on the merits of the case and not on the drama around it. Do you think the questions have got buried and the victim card, the drama has taken over?
Namaskar, Navika ji, and I completely agree with you. And you're somebody I really look up to, and you know that who stands by the truth. So you're right to a certain extent that there has been drama and the actual issues have got buried. But who benefits from this diversion? The Bharatiya Janata Party, not Mahua Moitra, not the TMC. Let's break every single argument that my dear friend Gaurav is making. First of all, Mahua Moitra gave him the login ID, that is to Mr. Submissive Hiranandani. So Mr. Submissive Hiranandani had no brains not to take an MP's login ID. Did she come and put a gun down his head and tell him take it? She gave him, he took it. Secondly, she demanded, dominated him. And Gaurav bhai, please,
so
let's not break each other. Gaurav bhai, please.
Of the responsibility.
Gaurav bhai, if you break my flow, how unfair is that? Please allow me my flow, please.
Fine. Go ahead.
Thank you, bhai.
Go ahead.
Now, she demanded, she dominated him. He was a kid that he gave into the demand and was so submissive that whatever she told him he did. He didn't have grey matter in his head. He was competing with the Ambanis and the Adanis. What kind of nonsense is this? The third person in this, her ex-boyfriend. While he was in a relationship with Mahua Moitra, he doesn't realize his girlfriend was taking expensive gifts. Now that he's out of a relationship in a battle, he realizes, oh, she was doing something illegal then. Fourth, the contractor, Who is this contractor? Can the contractor's name come out? I can tell you this for a fact and take it on affidavit. No private contractor did anything. The contractor was a CPWD contractor who made a house. Why is he not being interrogated? Because he's made BJP members' house also for extra money. Now let's come to the fifth part about it. All of this, I am telling you this as a matter of fact. It may border on immorality, and I completely concede stupidity that you gave your password, but there is no illegality to it. One man's luxury, for example, my dear friend Abhijit Iyer Mitra, his luxury, LV Hermes, is something I can only dream of, his necessity. That's luxury for me. For me, Bata is luxury. So one man's necessity is another man's luxury. Does Hiranandani define what is luxury in that letter on that so-called?
His audio is not
even
clear.
Even with you, Navika ji, he never defined what it is. He just said, I will tell the committee. Then there's the charge of 2 crore rupees cash. Hiranandani has done a U-turn on that. He's not even mentioned it in that affidavit. So
but that's
all of this is basically
what this entire ethics panel questioning was all about. Wasn't that what this entire ethics panel questioning was all about? To find out, and may I tell you, Gaurav Bhatia wants to come in. Yes, Gaurav Bhatia. Mahua Moitra was given a chance to talk suo moto for an hour and a half. For 90 minutes, she explained her point of view. But when it came to questions, the drama just broke loose. Do you think it was somehow to cover up for the questions that were waiting for her?
Navika, first of all, I would not like to even say that she's a drama queen, but on merits. Tehseen made a point which is very frivolous. I'll tell you why. Tehseen said that the password and the login credentials were shared. Was it forced on Hiranandani? That is not the point, Tehseen. The point is every member of parliament has certain parliamentary privileges. This position, which is the position of a public servant, and you take oath under the constitution, you are supposed to maintain the highest level of probity and propriety. Now tell me something. Why should a member of parliament share the login credentials with a person who's involved in real estate business or any other industry, and it is a case of conflict of interest? 1. 2. This jeopardizes national security, and I'll tell you the reason. You go to the website, the login credentials of a member of parliament. Ensure that the information that can be sought or can be taken out of the website is of highly confidential nature also. So she had access to it and she is sharing it with another person who is not entitled to the information. Third, do you even pay heed to the fact that TMC, Mamta Banerjee herself, has not come to the rescue of Mahua Moitra? She has also taken a stand that it is up to the member of parliament to defend herself. And therefore, when it is connected with the fact that she accepted expensive gifts, it becomes a matter that needs to be probed by the ethics committee, because it is a matter of breach of parliamentary privileges. And that is why today, when she faced tough questions, couldn't answer those questions, she indulged in these theatrics rather than answering the questions.
Navika ji, allow me to answer those. Please, allow me to
answer those and also answer this. Mahua Moitra, in her letter to the speaker just a few minutes ago, says, I would like to state that I have a remote constituency and I have used secretarial help from Mr. Hiranandani for typing out my parliamentary questions for submission to the portal. It is important to note that this portal is not the same as the Lok Sabha email or password, which I have not shared with anybody. Hence, there is no question of misuse of my official email. No unauthorized, unsupervised submission of questions would have been made, since my mobile number was the one on which final OTP was delivered. Hence, no question could be submitted without my approval or knowledge. Each MP has a large team of people with access to the login portal, including employees in the private agency LAMPS. So is she trying to say that sharing of password is no big deal?
No, But I agree to the point that it's immoral, it's stupid that you gave it to a businessman, but it's not illegal. See, it could lead to, Gaurav, please, it could lead to criminality, yes, but it did not lead to criminality. It's like if I'm playing with a knife, I may cut Abhijit, and that's criminal, but I didn't cut Abhijit, but it's stupid to play with a knife. So I concede to the point, but it's not illegal. Second point, which is very important, these expensive gifts, the particulars of those expensive gifts are made by her ex-boyfriend. Hiranandani does not accept those expensive gifts. He just says very vaguely some expensive gift. Cash flow is completely wrong. Therefore, I'm saying there is no... No, but that is her ex-boyfriend who's acrimonious, not Hiranandani. And if Mahua is guilty of taking a bribe, Gaurav bhai, then Hiranandani
has made this allegation.
And no, but he's not said which one, nah. He's not said which gifts. Now I'm saying, let's assume.
So, Tehseen Poonawala, you're splitting hair because Hiranandani in his interview to me said that he is ready to disclose all of these gifts to the parliamentary panel. But let me get in Abhijit Iyer Mitra. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, Mahua Moitra on the one hand, not answering questions. Kejriwal on the other hand, once again victim card, mujhe arrest kar lenge. Please explain to me whether I'm an accused or am I a witness. You know, all these kind of questions being asked. I want to ask you, are people trying to create a smoke screen so that the real questions really get completely shrouded?
That is exactly what is happening. Diversion, diversion, diversion. I'll tell you why it is criminal, first of all. Kejriwal, you know what's going to happen. ED is going to send a second notice. He's going to ignore that. They're going to send a third notice. He's going to ignore that. If they arrest him, he'll play martyr. I don't know why he's still not approaching Supreme Court to have the summons quashed. It seems to me like diversion. But let's get back to the OTP secretarial services. Now, tell me something, Navika. If you are sitting in Krishnanagar, which is a remote area of Bengal, how are you getting secretarial services in Dubai, boss? You are going to call up Dubai and say, I can't type into my computer. Can you please type this question into my computer? I will frame the question and send it to you via email, but I can't log into my portal from Krishnanagar and send you and type it into the thing myself. Does it make any sense to you that having secretarial staff in Delhi, you have to go via secretarial staff in Dubai to service Krishnanagar constituency? Tell me, in what part? Is there no 5G available in Krishnanagar constituency? Do you have stringers out there? I think it is a worthwhile primary research to be done, number one. Number two, I'll tell you what the problem with Darshan Hiranandani using the password is. Now, many people might be using passwords in parliament. The problem is they have not been used to commission a crime in parliament. Okay, the problem here is we have the previous cash for votes scandal, and this is a cash for question scandal. So let me tell you what is being violated out here. First, it is the Representation of People Act. She is the representative of the people. Darshan Hiranandani is not the representative of the people. He does not get to ask questions. Okay, now if she cannot prove that she had phone calls, and this is why she got upset when they asked her, who are you talking to at night? It didn't have to do with the night, it had to do with the conversation, because she could not prove that she is the one that framed and asked the questions, which is why she is diverting. Number one. Number two, if she cannot prove that she is the one that framed the questions and told the secretary in Dubai to type them out using a login, it automatically becomes section 66D of the IT Act, which is digital impersonation, punishable by up to 3 years. That doesn't apply to her, it applies to Darshan Hiranandani or his secretary. The problem is we come to 107 IPC, which is aiding and abetting impersonation. And that is punishable, if not mentioned specifically, with up to the same number of years as the actual impersonation. Now, you actually have a possible criminal case being made out here. She does not want to compound it. You see, all she has done is appear on TV channels with, sympathetic questioning, where she can get away being very cute and diverting and, manipulating answers with anchors who don't know the technical specifics to ask her all these questions. She cannot do that under sworn oath in committee because it constitutes a serious violation. It constitutes perjury, which is again a criminal act. Next, all these 5 members who walked out, including Mahua Moitra, under 275 of Lok Sabha rules, are not entitled to disclose what happened in committee outside till the report is tabled before the speaker and the speaker gives permission. So cumulatively also they have violated rules. There are significant criminal problems out here, which she herself is now compounding. This would have been a simple case had this ended then and there. This would have been a very simple case of a mere censure, a slap on the wrist, and that's it. She is going on. Sorry, 1 second, Tehseen, my last 10 seconds. She has compounded this. She has dug herself into a hole, and I don't think she realizes the gravity of it, because she's surrounded by an echo chamber that is going on saying, "Wah, madam, wah, kya tana mara aapne usse." I have heard today some of the things. What you put up, the two B words, they are not even half of what she said. She used far more serious words against a Dalit chairman of that committee. Let's not forget that, a Brahmin woman using those words against the Dalit chairman of that committee.
Well, all kinds of words have been used. Tehseen, I'll come back to you, but Ashutosh is also on the panel. And Ashutosh, I once again refer to the letter Mahua Moitra has written to the speaker, and she says, "I request the Lok Sabha Secretariat to please disclose the regulations governing the sharing of one's login and password of the portal to merely type out questions where nothing could be submitted without an OTP which came to my mobile phone." Why were these rules never given to MPs, and if they were, why is every single MP sharing his ID and login with numerous people? Not knowing what documents have been signed, because many members of parliament have confessed to us that they have signed some of these things when they get their login ID. Not reading papers, not knowing the rules of parliament. Is that a defense in this case, that Ms. Mahua Moitra did not know whether or not she could share her login and password? Can that be a defense?
See, Navika, I think it matter is very, very serious. And a woman, whether she's MP or not MP, that's immaterial. The issue is, she has said that the filthy questions were asked. Now, the filthy questions are asked that can amount to the outraging the modesty of a woman too. I'm not suggesting exactly this is what is going to happen, but this can be. So I'm sure the committee would have recorded the entire conversation or the investigation and the inquiry whatsoever. Committee should immediately make that video out so that सबको पता चले दूध का दूध और पानी का पानी. क्या filthy questions पूछे गए or not? If what she calls a filthy questions, that has to be answered. And this is the most serious thing which has come out. And this is by a woman, not by a man. So I take it very seriously. The second point is, if Hiranandani, if bribe taking is crime, the bribe giving is also crime. If Mahua Moitra can be accused of taking bribe for asking questions, then Hiranandani should also indulge into a criminal act because he has given crime, he has given bribe. So that means that if Mahua Moitra is accused for something, then Hiranandani is not above suspicion too. What kind of gift he's given is immaterial. Why he had given gift? What he wanted to do? I think these are the important questions, and I repeat again that irrespective of whether she's a woman or whether she's an MP or not, she has accused that committee has asked filthy questions. That has to be cleared immediately, because this is a matter of the parliamentary committee.
Well, respond to that, Gaurav Bhatia. Respond to that serious questions.
You know, one more fact I will add, and then I'll respond to the points made by Mr. Ashutosh. This affidavit, it's not a letter, it's a sworn in affidavit. And this affidavit has a very important information that every viewer should know. Navika, it wasn't only logging into the account. He says, Mr. Hiranandani says, certain information was shared with me based on which I continued to draft and post questions using her parliamentary login whenever needed. So, it is not the member of parliament which has the privilege to raise questions. It is another person on behalf of the member of parliament He is raising the questions. This is a very relevant fact, and that is why breach of parliamentary privilege. Now, Ashutosh says, you know, bribe taking and bribe giving, both are illegal and both should be tried. Absolutely, Ashutosh. There is no qualm in that. But the point here is, if greater the position, greater the responsibility, a member of parliament has to act in a more responsible manner, and it is only against a member of parliament that a breach of privilege motion can also be brought. And Mahua Moitra, by sharing the credentials of her login, is first to be interrogated, and she has to either own up or say that this is not true, which she is not doing. Second, you said that she has stated that filthy questions were asked. Ashutosh, why do you have to believe what Mahua Moitra is saying on face value? Why can't you believe the other committee members? The chair, who has also given a bite, and he has categorically stated that when tough questions were asked to her, she had no reply. She started thumping the desk there and started shouting and misbehaving, which Mahua Moitra is known for. So I don't know what kind of standards you are applying, that you will believe Mahua Moitra, but you will not believe the affidavit given by Mr. Hiranandani. That is very strange.
Can I? Ashutosh, I also agree that Mr. Hiranandani also, as a bribe giver, should be questioned. But first the crime has to be established, and that is the step in which the questioning was taking place.
That is why I'm sure Gaurav Bhatia is a senior lawyer in Supreme Court, and that it's a very high position in the Supreme Court. If anybody who started his career as a lawyer, he understands, in the eyes of law, use CRPC. If a woman says that the filthy questions were asked, it's immaterial what she is. It's a criminal act, and her words will be taken very seriously, and FIR can be registered against the person whom she has accused. I'm talking about purely on the basis of the law. I'm not making something else.
I'm asking you.
Amount to
Has she lodged a complaint?
Let me complete.
Has she lodged a complaint?
Let me complete.
I'm asking you. As a lawyer, I'm telling you. She needs to lodge a complaint.
No, but she has lodged a complaint with the speaker. She has lodged a complaint with the speaker of Lok Sabha.
No.
Navika,
the criminal process.
I'm talking about I'm purely talking about law. I'm not beating around the bush. I'm purely talking about the law. And the law says, if a woman accuses a man of some kind of illegal, or even by intent, even by the movement of the eyes, even by expression, that amounts to outraging the modesty of a woman. And if that is so, then the person accused has to be in custody. This is that serious matter. That's what I'm saying.
Well, Abhijit, then what happens? Then what happens to the statements made by Ms. Mahua Moitra herself? When in interviews she's talked about, when in tweets she's talked about the fact that this is a relationship with an ex that has gone sour. She's spoken about her own personal life. Now, if anybody questions her relating to the allegations made, does that become invasion of her private space? And does that become Cheer Haran or Vastra Haran, as she calls it in her complaint to the speaker?
First of all, let's go by what Danish Ali and Mahua Moitra themselves have said in that little deranged video clip that you've played. They are saying that the outrage that was done was, who are you talking to at night? Is who are you talking to at night meant to be a dirty question? You tell me, Navika, if I ask you who are you talking to at night, do you interpret it as a dirty question? No. Remember, the SC/ST provisions, the provisions of the SC/ST Act are equally stringent. So, you know, if this applies to Sonkar with regards to Mahua Moitra, the SC/ST Act should also apply with regards to Mahua Moitra versus Sonkar. Let us not forget that. It is even for both people. Number three, what is her problem? She doesn't want to answer the question. See, calling hundreds of people call people at night. Where is the implication? Where is the innuendo in calling somebody at night? Fourth, she spent the first 2.5 hours, the pre-lunch, there was no interrogation. The entire pre-lunch session was her going on a monologue, presenting her own defense, which was full of personal, highly personal details and invective against the jilted ex, as she calls him. Now, if she herself has opened that line of questioning, she then can't say, you can't question me on what I have said. ये आपने कभी सुना है? You know, this is why in American law, for example, people will not testify. The accused will not testify to avoid being cross-questioned. But here, where you have testified, you have to be cross-questioned at that point. So I don't know who is advising her. But you know, this isn't some pliant TV anchor who's going to ask
these questions are important, but the most important question is there a video recording of this entire questioning with Parliament? Is in-camera proceeding something that the Parliament undertakes? I don't know that clearly. Minutes of meetings are maintained, but I don't know if there is a videography. But let me ask
Navika, 10 seconds. Navika, 10 seconds. I think Avijit Mitra should know that this is an ethics committee, not a CBI, not a police investigation, not a ED investigation, where you can ask all kinds of questions to the woman. How dare somebody ask a woman to whom you are talking to in the night? Will you take umbrage or not?
What is wrong about asking who are you talking? What is this phone call?
Avijit, I didn't disturb you.
Ashutosh,
Avijit, I didn't disturb you. I didn't disturb you. Please listen to me silently.
Sorry.
Navika, I will take an umbrage to anybody if asking me whom you are talking to in the night. You are asking a woman. Where is your sensibilities? How dare you ask a question to a woman whom you are talking to in the night? This is the ethics committee. With all due respect, this is not a CBI. She has not entered into some criminal act in that sense. Till now, at least, no FIR has been lodged against her. So how can I think it is ethics committee? You decide on the basis of what wrong she has committed and whether that amounts to be punished by the ethics committee or not. At the max, censoring. That's all. Nothing more than that. Ethics committee can only censor, can't commit unless it goes to some bigger committee and then the House decides. So I think Avijit Mitra is stretching it too far, taking it too far. A woman has made a statement. Filthy questions has been asked. Mr. Sonkar has not uttered a word on that line that whether she has, as a Brahmin woman, said something about the caste of that man. So please don't try to
he hasn't said. So let's not dwell on it. These are issues.
1 second, Navika, just very important counter.
Okay.
I have a very simple question to you, Ashutosh ji. See, you are saying that asking somebody who you spoke to at night is insulting the woman. Okay. Assume the OTP. She claims the OTP came in her password. Assume the computer was accessed at night. Rather, the portal was accessed at night. A call was made. 1 second, let me ask my question. At 11 o'clock, asking for the OTP. According to you, even if the OTP was shared at 11 o'clock at night, it should be excluded from the purvey of questions, and she should only be asked about her daytime phone calls. Is it?
Can I answer? Ethics committee can only decide whether she has given login to a foreign a person whom she to somebody else, someone outsider. That's all. If that is proved, then she has committed a mistake. Now, the ethics committee has no business to ask a question to whom the Mahua Moitra was talking to in the night. Then if you stretch this logic, it goes beyond the point.
Well, the ethics committee is depending on an affidavit. Ashutosh, the ethics committee is depending on an affidavit and facts made in that affidavit.
The ethics of accepting bribes.
Can only investigate.
No.
Ethics committee can no. Don't mislead. Don't mislead. Ethics committee is not CBI.
No, it is not. It is not. But the question that the ethics committee is trying to figure out is whether there was cash and bribe for questions. And for that matter, some questions will be asked, yes or no.
No, Navika, I'll tell you.
But how can I ask a woman who you are talking to the night?
Falls down.
Oh my God. You can't ask a woman. So let me ask Ravi Srivastava. Ravi Srivastava, अब केजरीवाल जी चाहेंगे कि वो भी एक औरत होते तो उनसे भी कोई सवाल नहीं पूछता.
Navika, just show your phone. Who did you speak to at 10 o'clock last night?
10 seconds.
Navika, show me who you spoke to at 10 o'clock last night.
Well, I'm not
Are you
before
upset?
the ethics. I'm not before the ethics committee, and I have my right to privacy. As of now, I have no complaints against me. So, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, I'm not giving in to that question. I'm not giving in to that question. But Ravi Srivastava ji, Ravi Srivastava,
Kejriwal become a what he would have been in the movement or
नहीं मैं ये कह रही हूँ कि फिर प्रेसिडेंट हो जाता
for any questioning. He was only asking for a rational.
Okay.
He is only asking for a rational.
And he decided. And he decided to ask this question. And he decided to ask this question 5 days after he got the summons on the day he had to appear.
Yeah. You want to ask a chief minister whom you want, or a party convener whom you want to ask the question.
Okay. Gaurav Bhatia, Ravi Srivastava says unclear summons.
Just sending a letter.
And he sought the clarification. Which Kejriwal role do you want to ask? Chief Minister, Aam Aadmi Party convener, a witness, or an accused? Shouldn't the ED have said that?
Navika, I would only say such stupid arguments can only be made by people who support the Arajak Aparadh Bhrashtachari party, because no summon will ever reveal the details that whether it is going to the chief minister or the convener of AAP or to any other citizen as an accused or as a witness. A summon is given to a person. He comes.
It's a roving inquiry.
Please
you
be quiet.
You want to establish the crime after questioning.
Please, Navika, this is not done. Ask him to be quiet.
What kind of roving inquiry is this?
Please ask him to be quiet.
No, it's not a roving inquiry. You know that the matter has gone right up to the Supreme Court. So to call it a roving inquiry is rather trying your luck too far. But hold on, Ravi Srivastava. Gaurav Bhatia is responding to you. Gaurav Bhatia is responding to you, lowering all faders. Gaurav Bhatia.
Yes. So I will give you an example. Being a student of law, when a summon is sent to some person, he comes for interrogation. He need not be told whether it is in the capacity of a chief minister, convener, accused, or person. What happens? Even a witness who is summoned, after questioning, the investigating agency might decide that the person needs to be arrested and he is an accused in the case. So it all depends on the answers and the questions that are posed. And no summon ever I have seen would mention that please you are asked to be present as a chief minister or as a convener. Second, Arvind Kejriwal bolte rahe jail ka tala tootega, Manish Shishodia chutega. Now Arvind Kejriwal is the kingpin and he knows that arrest is imminent, and that is why he is scared. Otherwise he would have moved the court and this summon would have been stayed and quashed. But he waited for 14 months and did not even move the court. That itself shows that within his heart he knows that he is the kingpin and he'll be arrested.
But nobody can peep into anybody's heart. And Tausif Khan, I just want to ask you, would this entire matter actually benefit Mahua ji also if she had come clean, answered the questions, and if these charges are frivolous, just prove that these are frivolous charges and move on? Has this just extended the entire question and the secrecy and all of which it is shrouded even further without any clarity on who's right?
Navika, on the very face of it, by going through the affidavit of Hiranandani, it is proven already that these charges are frivolous. That is why there is no talk of quid pro quo anymore. Now we are only talking about the unauthorized login. You see, from the last over a week, Finance Ministry, IT Minister, please do not interrupt.
The IT Ministry has already given, apparently, its findings that 47 times this email ID or portal or whatever was accessed from Dubai. Is that not at all a breach of privilege or a breach of security? That question is the basic question which we are miles away from answering today, because despite the appearance before the ethics panel, this entire question has got sidetracked. What's center stage is who misbehaved, with whom, and whether this is the manner in which the ethics panel should have conducted its business. Is that really fair? Does that answer questions of the people of India in the manner in which members of parliament represent the people of India? Well, the jury out on that one. Thank you very much to all my guests for joining me on debate number 1.